Hello, welcome back to the Love from the Past. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm at the Hamilton House, which is the oldest brick house in Dalton, Georgia that even predates the creation of Dalton. And before I actually walk around the house, I'm going to show this sign right here. And it says, this brick house and the stone spring house in the low ground back of it were built by John Hamilton in about 1840. During the winter of 1863 through 64, when the Confederate Army of Tennessee under General Joseph E. Johnston occupied Dalton, Brigadier General J.H. Lewis of the celebrated Orphan Brigade of Kentucky had headquarters here with his tent near the spring house. The Army of Tennessee under General Bragg withdrew from Missionary Ridge November 25, 1863 to Dalton, where General Johnston succeeded the command December 27th. Outnumbered and outflanked by Sherman's forces, Johnston evacuated Dalton May 12th through the 13th, 1864. And they also have another marker right here that tells more information, but it is extremely bad sun damage, so you really can't see it, but I'm still going to show it off. See, as you can tell, it's really bad sun damaged. So hopefully they do get it replaced pretty soon. And I found out yesterday that you actually have to call and reserve a spot to actually come inside and tour the Hamilton House. I did not know that. I just figured it out yesterday. So I will be making a reservation to go inside the Hamilton House and touring it for you guys, but that will be in a later video. So today I'm just going to be walking around it and telling the history about the house and everything that it has to offer. Woo. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely stay tuned for the tour inside. But now I'm going to do some voiceovers and tell y'all the history of this house. A house is just wooden bricks. It is the people who inhabit it and the events that happen there that shape it into a home and a place to be remembered. Such as this house built in 1840 by John Hamilton. The Hamilton House is the oldest brick home in Dalton, Georgia, predating the creation of the city, and is a home rich in history. John Hamilton was born in 1803 in White Plains, Westchester County, New York, and worked as a civil engineer. While working on a Tennessee River project in Kingston, he met and married Rachel Wester. He and Rachel moved to Cross Plains, now Dalton, Georgia, in 1839, while he oversaw the construction of stone culverts and bridge approachments for the Western and Atlantic Railroad. At this time, Cross Plains only had 9 other families living there. The land on which John chose to settle and build a home originally belonged to a Cherokee chief, Youngbird, also known as Redbird. The chief's favorite hobby, horse racing, led to his death as he raced down what is now Thornton Avenue. Buried west of the house near the railroad tracks, the chief's ghost is supposed to haunt the tracks. All the property of the Cherokee Indians in Georgia was confiscated in 1834 by the Georgia Land Lottery. John bought the chief's property, consisting of 5 land lots, in 1838 from Mr. Absalom Holcomb, a land speculator who had bought the property through the Georgia Land Lottery. John and Rachel lived in Youngbird's double log cabin while their brick home was being built. The property includes a freshwater spring that has an estimated flow of 430 gallons a minute, or 620,000 gallons in a 24-hour period. It was the spring that attracted Chief Youngbird, the Hamiltons, and later industry to the location. John took great pride in his work and used his knowledge of stone and brick to build his home. It is said that John liked to sit on the large back porch so he could see the trains pass on the tracks that he helped construct. The home was built to last and has only seen 2 major renovations in its history. The walls throughout are made of solid brick and wide wooden beams and rafters that are still sound and strong, and the bricks were made on the property. The construction of the home is timeless. The original portion of the home is quite large, with 4 rooms and a large hall and staircase on the ground floor, upstairs rooms with dormers, and a full basement. The kitchen, with a large fireplace, 6 feet wide and nearly 5 feet high, attracts a lot of attention because it is located in the basement. Because fire was a great hazard, most homes built during this time had kitchens that were located away from the main house. The main floor of the house was heated by 4 fireplaces and later by a coal-fired furnace with vents that can still be seen in the foyer floor. A few years later, after the house was completed, an addition was made with a kitchen and dining room on the ground level and a room above, with a carriage house beside the main house. In 1906, a room was built on the north end of the residence, a bedroom called Mr. Moody's room, for the foreman who was there for construction of No. 2 mill for Crown Cotton Mills. John recognized the importance of the spring on his property and had it walled in with brick. He built a spring house with a vaulted stone arch over it. The spring house was also used as an office where it was cool and quiet. The structure was seriously damaged in the blizzard of 1993, but its remains are still quite visible. John was a wealthy landowner with a 1,000-acre working plantation. He was active in county politics and served as a judge in the inferior court. The Hamilton House is said to have been a happy home and a religious one as well, with neighbors looking forward to visits and parties at the Hamilton House. John and Rachel were known for their gracious dinners and parties, and the children had a childhood of comfort and joy. John and Rachel had 11 children. 4 died very young and are buried near the Hamilton House in a fenced graveyard with 4 headstones and footstones still standing, but the lettering has disappeared with the ravages of time and weather. 5 boys and 2 girls survived to adulthood. A nearby mountain was named for John's wife and daughter, Mount Rachel, on which a large lighted star is displayed every Christmas season. Dalton's main downtown street, Hamilton Street, is named for John. John and Rachel are buried in the old Presbyterian cemetery that I'll visit at the end of the video. He was first buried on the Hamilton House property, but his remains were moved when Rachel died. John died in 1853 before the Civil War, and Rachel, left with 7 children and a huge plantation, proved to be an astute businesswoman and successful plantation owner. The house would now see history at its doors and in the halls and rooms and even on the lawn as the Civil War came to Georgia. All 5 sons of John and Rachel enlisted in the Confederate Army, and all survived. During the war, Rachel and the children went to live in Butts County in central Georgia. Rachel returned home before the end of the war and helped nurse the soldiers hospitalized in her home. After the war, she remained there until her death in 1876. The house was used by both Confederate and Union forces as headquarters and as a hospital. First by Confederate Brigadier General Joseph H. Lewis in 1863 through 1864. His brigade was called the Orphan Brigade because Kentucky was in the hands of the Union forces. General Joseph E. Johnston's Army of Tennessee spent the winter of 1863 through 64 in Dalton. Outnumbered and outflanked by Sherman's forces, the brigade and Johnston evacuated Dalton May 12th and 13th in 1864. The famous locomotive chase of the General went by the house and actually stopped near the location of Crown Cotton Mill to cut the telegraph lines and observe Colonel Jesse Glenn and his company of men drilling in the fields in the Hamilton Bottoms. 2 hospital buildings were built on the property with lumber supplied by Rachel. The house was used as a hospital near the war's end and hence were used for the Army's headquarters. Dalton was spared in Sherman's burning of Georgia, and the historic home was saved. In 1884, the home and plantation were sold to Crown Cotton Mills. Destined to always be known as the Hamilton House, Mill Superintendent Frank Hamilton and his wife Maud moved in 1904. Janice Kreischer, their daughter, was the last Hamilton to live in the old house. She moved to Atlanta in 1983. Oddly enough, the Frank Hamilton family is of no relation to the John Hamilton family, which originally owned the house. Cousins David, Lane, and Clay Hamilton, descendants of John Hamilton, and officers of Crown America restored the house in 1984 to make it the office headquarters of Crown Cotton Mills and Crown America. According to David Hamilton, company president in 1984, he said, "We would like to retain the original plan and also retain progression work through the years." The home and office was sold to the Whitfield Murray Historical Society in 1997 by Crown Cotton Mill Properties. In April of 2006, Kevin McAuliffe, a historic preservation specialist with the North Georgia Regional Development Center, noticed a bulge in the west wall of the house while conducting a visual inspection. The home was closed while options for and means of funding necessary repairs were assessed. With support from the City of Dalton and a federal grant, repairs were made and the building was declared structurally sound in 2010. Repairs included construction of a rear porch and a new red cedar shingle roof. An ongoing project of the Whitfield Murray Historical Society, plans are to continue restoring the house and grounds to its past beauty. The house is on the National Register of Historic Places and is Historic Site number 1 on the Georgia Historical Commission marker in Whitfield County. Now I'm going to go visit the small cemetery where 4 Hamilton children are buried. And I know I've shown y'all this hat before. If you want to go check this out, click the link in the description. But along with hats and other things like shirts, I also have stickers just like this, which is on the back of my truck. So I'll be going down the highway. Somebody can look at that and look at my channel. There you go. So if you want a Left in the Past sticker, hat, or shirt, or anything of that sort, click the link in the description. And now I'm at Old Presbyterian Cemetery to visit the graves of John and Rachel Hamilton. And they're way back here in the back. And this is the grave of John Hamilton, born August 17th, 1803, and passed away November 13th, 1853. And this is the grave of Rachel Hamilton, born September 22nd, 1811, passed away June 21st, 1876. Okay, this will be all for today, guys. I hope you did enjoy that video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Also, subscribe down below if you haven't already, because it's free and it helps me out a whole lot. So definitely do that if you haven't already. Comment down below what was your favorite part of this video and what you thought of the Hamilton house, because I thought it was extremely cool, and I cannot wait to get a reservation. Sorry, I forgot what it was called. Get a reservation so I can go and check the inside of the place out, because that would just be extremely awesome to just go and look at. And I really do need to do the Wright Hotel as well. There's also another house that I want to do called the Huff House. That'll be a later video, but I do have that video planned as well. I'm gonna see whenever they're open, and if I'm able to, I'm gonna go when they're open, so I'm gonna actually go inside, because I know I haven't been able to go inside these places whenever I make the videos. But I just really want to get these videos out for you guys, because I really enjoy doing them. And I cannot wait for the future content I have planned. I have more things like I did today, like at the Hamilton house. I'm gonna start going to museums, because I know a Civil War museum close to me that I'm gonna go to once I find out the information over it, and if I'm even able to film it, as well as a Bigfoot museum in Blue Ridge. That's gonna be absolutely amazing. I've been there a couple times, and it's just really cool to see. And I know that they have renovated it since I last went there, so it's going to be even better. And then I got pumpkin patches, haunted houses, hay rides, things of that sort that I have planned for the Halloween season. And then whenever Christmas rolls around, we're going to float that boat whenever it gets here. But I just hope y'all are really enjoying these videos, because I know I'm enjoying filming them. But really, with all that said, this adventure is left in the past, and thank y'all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.